for marginalized women, including women who use drugs, people living with HIV, pale HIV, survivor of domestic violence, single mothers, and sex workers. Their expertise span gender-specific issues, domestic violence, stigma reduction, and the intersection of the drug use and HIV within the feminist movement. Over to you, Karina.
Hello, namaste, I'm Karina. So let me start with the short story of a young girl. Story of a 16 years old girl who had full of dreams, as well as she was very naive. Had to make a decision, but then at her age, she had to run away with her boyfriend, then her life got upside down. She rescued herself being in an abusive relationship, casteism stigma, and sexual abuse by her in-laws. The time she rescued herself, she found that she was pregnant. No other way out, so she asked for help. She asked for help to her mother, and her mother supported her for the abortion in the hospital. She lived her life in guilt for not being a good daughter and thinking she did sin for doing so. Until she stepped up, went through a lot of hard ways in life, and she started the organization called Dristy Nepal in 2006. That's where she got the proper information about sexual and reproductive health rights, but not in early years. It took more than a decade, and the woman that is here, the story is mine. So I'm here sharing bits of story, and I don't know what would I have done if I would not have the support of my mother. Having said that, not everyone has the same kind of environment, but it was very tough for me. I lived my life that way. And the next one is this is the story. We reach out to lots of women in Nepal. Hundreds and hundreds of women. So every year we reach out to 500 women. This is a young mother who had nowhere to go. She reached out to us when she was just 17 years old, and now she has got 2 babies. She's also living with HIV. She's a woman who used drugs and a survivor of rape. This is something that we never talk about. This is something when we are talking about sexual and reproductive health rights, we always talk about women, 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 but do we exist? Where do we exist? I don't see we are somewhere included, unfortunately. Yeah. So recently in 2024, Dristy Nepal, for the first time in Nepal, we organize SRHR training among this community. Unfortunately, even when we say key population or the marginalized community, women who use drugs are far, far, far left behind. We are stigmatized, we are not talked about, we are judged. We are seen as a criminal, nobody wants us in the community, and that's where we are struggling. And myself, I'm coming from the same community, a survivor, a mental health activist, and unmarried mother. Not everyone can speak the way I speak, but I am speaking on behalf of all my peers back in Nepal. Thank you. So there were 150 participants, but out of that, 99 were women who use drugs, including transgender women. I just want to phrase it out, trans women were also invited because we know the intersectional issue is what we need to address at this moment. So out of that, 55% shared that they don't know about SRS services, no safe abortion in their respective area. 79 of the women respondents share that they've never received any kind of information and trainings, and that's very obvious that Dristi Nepal, for the last, being there in Nepal for the last 17 years, we recognize that, okay, we need to do this. So in collaboration with donors and FPAN, Family Planning Association in Nepal, we came up with this idea, okay, let's do it. And also the diverse demographic profile ranging from young women, 18 to 24, 32% to older women is, so there was a difference, 32% of the participants were aged 18 to 24 during the training. And the marital status, 37 were single women, 24 were married. It's like, we were like, wow, you're married. Means like, it's a choice. We are not, you know, it's not something like, it's not, we didn't want to tell it's bad. But then like, you know, having no any proper information about body, about their choice, what they can do, about the law, especially from our community, it was like, I was blown away. Because I became a mother when I was 31, and he's 14 years old. So, you know, going through back and forth, it was like, wow, what am I doing? How can we raise this concern further? And 26 were in living relationships, 6 were divorced, and 37 single, 6 separated, and 24 were married. So among those 99 participants, 51% were mothers already. So you can see how we became mother. There are lots of things, and number one that we always forget to include is the violence that we go through, how our partners, and next one is the economical, we have to depend on our partners, and that's where all our decision-making power is taken. So, and I didn't write much about the problems because we have been talking about problems. So I don't want to talk about that. It's the same problem. The only thing is, we as a group, we are coming up. So these are the few things that we came up, invest, so that we can learn about ourselves, our rights, when it comes to sexual and reproductive health, and also safe abortion, and meaningful engagement, and educate, so that we can educate our peers. Now, this is what we have to say. This is our member. I'm not what you think of a woman who use drugs. I earn, go to my college, and I know my responsibilities. So, I'm asking you all the questions. Where is our fundamental rights? Where is, if we all are talking about women's rights and SRHR, where are we? This question goes to you all, because we are being judged and stigmatized every single day, every single second in a society. And thank you, we are not exception, nothing about us, without us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for the amazing presentation. I personally feel that yeah, we need to truly embrace the intersectionality, and sometimes just like what Parin also mentioned, sometimes there are a group, even though like many groups were in the marginalized, but sometimes there are like another group from those marginalized groups that are being marginalized by also the marginalized people. So yeah, that's I think that's also something that we need to always reflect back. So thank you for that wonderful presentation. Now we are heading to the next panelist. I'll call on Din Tangata. I hope I pronounce it right. is a trans registered nurse working at the IPPF of the Cook Island and on SRHR, CSE, Human Rights Association, and abortion champion since they were 15. Dean wears multiple hats, including but not limited to humanitarian focal point, president of Pride Cook Island, executive of the only trans exclusive organization in the Cook Island, technical advisor to the National Youth Council, member of the Pacific Youth Council, board member for the Pacific Sexuality and Gender Diversity Network, Indigenous Pacific representative of the ILGA Oceania Board, and one of the most important things, proud stay and army.
Thank you so much. Is it awkward for anybody else hearing your bio, or is it just me? Sawadika. Hello. I just want to clarify, for the purposes of the presentation only, I am not permitting photos or videos to be taken. Except for reporting purposes, as well as my colleague also for reporting purposes, so my boss can see that I actually did work. You can. You will see why shortly.